Hey, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of the Smart 7's brought to you by your nectar prices at Sainsbury's. These days it's hard to find value for money on your weekly shop, right? Well, maybe you're doing it wrong. You need to unlock the magic of your nectar prices at Sainsbury's. Every Friday, you can unlock up to 10 personalised discounts on things you love in the Nectar app. And the best part is that while nectar prices are for everyone, your nectar prices are just for you. So check your Nectar app and unlock your nectar prices to save more now. Enjoy your own personalised discount on things you love with your nectar prices at Sainsbury's. That's good food for all of us. The offer's for 18 plus, Nectar app required. Unlock up to 10 your nectar prices weekly. Available in supermarkets, online and in locals with Smart Shop. T's and C's apply. On today's Smart 7, Trump rants at the United Nations, Jimmy Kimmel makes a comeback and much more. It's Wednesday the 24th of September, it's Punctuation Day and happy birthday, Joe Locke.
The Smart 7. It's news, but
Not the news. US President Donald Trump was in New York on Tuesday to address world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly. His speech, however, was more like one of his campaign rallies rather than the calm, measured performance you might expect from the leader of the free world. He spoke at length about his ability to stop wars and wondered why the UN hadn't called him to congratulate him, and he told the assembled leaders and diplomats that because of immigration, their countries were going to hell.
I see it. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble, and nobody's doing anything to change it. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it.
That was one of many false claims in Trump's speech, and he had angry words for London's Mayor Sadiq Khan, who he suggested is trying to introduce Sharia law to England's capital city. He also ranted at length about what he called the globalist hoax of climate change.
They said global warming will kill the world, but then it started getting cooler, so now they could just call it climate change, because that way they can't miss. It's the greatest con job ever made by stupid people. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail.
The Lib Dems signed off on their annual conference in Bournemouth on Tuesday. They've spent 3 days celebrating their best ever election results while also focusing on the plan to win more at the next election. Leader Sir Ed Davey gave his speech on Tuesday afternoon, pledging to win more seats than the Tories.
We are in a battle for the very future of our country. If you believe in decency, tolerance and the rule of law, join us. Because we believe in the British people. We love our country. And together we can change it for good.
The conference has seen a strong focus on the threat posed by Nigel Farage and his Reform Party, with Davey seeking to portray the Lib Dems as a healthy and patriotic alternative. He returned to his attacks on tech billionaire Elon Musk too, criticising him for his interference in UK politics and his failure to regulate or moderate dangerous content on his X platform.
It's all about Musk's ego, his power and his wealth. He rails against the Online Safety Act because Musk wants to run his social media platform without taking any responsibility for the terrible harm it is causing.
After his rambling address to the UN General Assembly, Donald Trump held a series of meetings with leaders from around the world. French President Macron, Turkish President Erdogan and EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen all spoke with the US President on issues including Gaza and Ukraine. He also met for an hour with Ukrainian President Zelensky, which seemed to go well, with Trump complimenting Ukraine's army for holding back Russia for 3.5 years. In fact, he even suggested that Ukraine could win back all its territory in a major shift of tone which both surprised and delighted Zelensky. The Ukrainian president appeared on Fox News to thank Trump and warn that Putin needs to be stopped.
It's not about territories, it's about the position of Putin. He will continue. If we will give them more that he really wants, he will continue. So the question how to stop the war is just to stop Putin's ambitions, to change his position to this war.
An expert in autism told the New York Times on Tuesday that listening to Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. make their much-hyped autism announcement on Monday was one of the most difficult days of her career. Helen Targa Flusberg says she was shocked by the lack of any evidence for statements made by Trump in particular. He ranted at pregnant women, urging them, do not take Tylenol, although there is no evidence that the drug can cause any harm or have any impact on autism. Experts acknowledge that there are more diagnosed cases of autism, but they say that is down to better and earlier assessments. Dr. Monique Botha is an associate professor in psychology at Durham University, and she says no one should be taking medical advice from the US president.
You don't expect such genuinely terrible health information coming out of a government's office. Women shouldn't follow the advice of someone who isn't going to be there to pick up the pieces afterwards.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, there's a Ryder Cup controversy already, and Jimmy Kimmel returns right after this. Hey, it's Jamie East here from the Smart 7, and today's episode's brought to you by Pension Bee and their award-winning Pension Confident podcast. Getting your head around pensions might seem overwhelming, but that's where Pension Bee comes in. They're on a mission to build pension confidence. So whether you're just starting on your pension journey, you're nearing retirement, or like me, you're somewhere a little bit in between, then you should have a listen to the Pension Confident podcast. It's an award-winning podcast that digs into topics that really matter with the help of financial experts. So that could be the basics of how pensions, ISAs or mortgages work, and things like how to get started on saving for a happy retirement. And a bit like the Smart 7 does with the news, they break down complex pensions finance into language that we can all understand. You can listen or download the Pension Confident podcast wherever you get your podcast from, or you can watch the episodes on YouTube. And remember, anything discussed on the podcast shouldn't be regarded as financial or legal advice, and when investing, your capital is at risk. Welcome back. Tuesday night saw the third round of the Carabao Cup get underway with 8 games in total. League One side Lincoln hosted Chelsea and took the lead before Enzo Maresca's men roared back in the second half to win 2-1. Brighton won 6-0 at Barnsley, Wolves knocked Everton out, and Liverpool survived a scare at Southampton to win 2-1. Apart from football, this weekend is one of the biggest in the golfing calendar as the Ryder Cup gets underway, with America hosting Europe at the Bethpage course. It turns out this year the US team will be paid for their efforts after a controversy last year with one of their players, but European captain Luke Donald says his team aren't worried about the cash.
This isn't a week to get paid. We reinvest some of that money back into the experience of these guys, and I feel like if you have those experiences that you remember for the rest of your life, that's worth more than a couple $100,000 in the back of your pocket.
Jimmy Kimmel's late-night talk show was hastily pulled off the ABC network last week after Kimmel made a relatively mild joke about President Trump's reaction to the death of right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk. His indefinite suspension sparked a firestorm of criticism for ABC and parent company Disney, with boycotts and celebrities speaking out in defense of free speech. Disney has now relented following discussions with The Kimmel Show, and it returned on Tuesday evening, but not to all the network stations it was on before. Kimmel was unapologetic, and the show included Robert De Niro playing the part of FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr and a series of jokes aimed directly at Trump.
He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly. He might have to release the Epstein files to distract us from this now.
Actress and Academy Award-nominated director Maggie Gyllenhaal is back with a very cool-looking new horror movie. It's called The Bride, and it answers the question, what if Frankenstein's monster wanted to get married? Christian Bale plays the monster who builds his bride in the shape of Jessie Buckley and with the style of Lady Gaga. It's written, directed and produced by Maggie, and it also features an appearance from Brother Jake and Penelope Cruz. It hits cinemas next March.
What's my name? Can't remember. Was I just the same before the accident?
There wasn't any accident. There's nothing left to do now but live.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Consider this your sign to skip the what's for dinner debate tonight. Outback Steakhouse has a 3-course meal starting at just $14.99. Start with soup or salad, then take your pick of down-under entrees, like our juicy towering burger or flame-grilled shrimp. And for dessert, New York-style cheesecake, plus $8 cocktails all day, every day. 3 courses, starting at $14.99. Tell the group chat you'll see them at Outback. Price and participation may vary.